Happy Stoney Sunday, everyone. This is episode 122. Wait, no, 222. We are in San Bernardino at the Cannabis Cup, and it's early in the day still, so it hasn't quite filled up. And I am here with Radical Russ.
Hey, it's me.
He's live broadcasting for his show as well. There's his broadcast phone right there.
It's like an infinite loop.
Yeah.
We've gone meta.
Pretty much. And Russ is one of the activists that I followed from the very beginning on Twitter, for my beginning on Twitter. You've been doing this longer than I've been paying attention, for sure.
Aww.
And as soon as I started poking around about cannabis, news, information, and why it's still illegal, I found you like preaching on mountaintops, telling people we need to have legalization, we need to have safe regulation, and why that matters. So I'm really excited you're on the show right now.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to be on the show and to speak to all the reefers out there.
Yay! We were going to do a live episode, but things happened and I couldn't get my live stream. He got his live stream working. Can you take questions live from your thing? Or
we sure could. There's a chat on it.
Yeah, so if you are able to watch from, how do you watch your live stream?
You could go to 420radio.org and there's a button that says RB Live. You just click on that.
So there are some people watching that way. We will take some questions throughout this episode via the live option, but then I had a couple questions for you as well. I don't know if you have Sunday questions for me.
Oh,
but
yeah, sure I will.
It'll be an anything episode. And we have pot to smoke too. My assistant is here, Miss Hi Buddy, is gonna help us. She's gonna hold the camera. That way we can light the pot. Oh my gosh, you're good.
Oops,
yeah, whoa.
there we go.
Oh, thank you. This
See, teamwork here. I gotta make sure I'm not in the camera.
He's a professional though.
I try. Professional pothead. Who knew this was even a job? But that's something I've always admired about you, is turning this into a living, turning this into something that you can do to share with the rest of the community. A lot of people can't make it. You might be in Kansas, you might be in Kentucky, some other state that starts with a K, so we'd like to bring some freedom your way if we can.
For sure. I feel like moms and dads always tell kids, like, you can't play video games your whole life, it's not a real job, like, you need skills and stuff. And people say that about smoking weed and posting online. It's like, no, you can make that a job. Blogging is a real job.
Yeah.
If you're consistent, if you have a point of view, and if you put in the effort to go where the story is.
Yeah.
If you're in one of those Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee states, sometimes you gotta go. You gotta see what's going on. You gotta get to California, you gotta get to Colorado, Washington. We've made the trips, we've been to these states.
Oh yeah, frequent flyer miles up the yin yang, and sometimes, you know, now there's a lot of options out there like GoFundMe and WePay and all these different crowdfunding sites. Do you know of any specifically
weed-friendly crowdfunding sites? Bonus Stoney Sunday question.
Good question. Not in particular. No, I don't know that any that are like reform-minded or marijuana-minded in particular, but you know what's going to happen any moment now, because hell, they've got the Tinder for stoners. Heard about that now?
Yeah, but it's not on the Apple Store, because the Apple Store doesn't allow cannabis social networking. They will allow like menu guides and directions to dispensaries.
Yeah.
But if you involve social networking and being friends around pot, that's no go. They have an issue with it. So I haven't actually tried this like Tinder for marijuana. One, because I'm terrified of it and it sounds weird.
Yeah.
But two, I have an iPhone, so I don't think I get to try it.
Well, and I'm interested to see how it turns out too, because demographically speaking, when you start looking at regular cannabis consumers, which is anybody from 4 times a month up, it's about 2 to 1 men. You know, so I don't know, like, how do you run a dating site? You know, I guess it's a buyer's market if you're a lady. Ladies, if you're looking for a guy who smokes weed,
that's true. That's absolutely true. Like, a lot of dudes ask, like, where can I find a girl that smokes weed? Where can I find a girl that smokes weed? And there's 2 things I think I have to mention with that. One, the statistic that you're mentioning is self-reported, right?
It is people that are willing to admit breaking state and federal laws to an anonymous pollster representing the federal government on their telephone. So
there are some
there
people
are some
that
caveats.
Women are less likely to take that risk and just admit to a stranger on the phone, yeah, I break law all the time, or a couple times a month. There are some people that say women don't answer that as honestly as men, or as dangerously honest as men. So I have heard that that may not be entirely accurate, that there are actually way more female smokers than we ever knew are out there. But then we have to make them welcome and like, I don't know, we have to make the events friendly towards women.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just kind of a lot of dudes looking at hot chicks, and then they're complaining that there aren't more casual, friendly chicks walking around. It's like, well, what were the casual, friendly chicks gonna do? Look at the hot girls with you? It's weird. It gets weird.
It is a little weird, and I always like to make the joke that those aren't hot pants. Those are medical shorts. That's one of my jokes. But
I'm wearing medical shorts.
You've got the medical shorts on.
Medical shorts.
Yeah. definitely.
I didn't even know.
I know my blood pressure has been helped a lot by the medical shorts. But no, it is a concern for a lot of folks is the whole sexualization of the marijuana movement, and I think that's an artifact of it being illegal for so long. I think as it becomes more and more mainstream, that'll be harder and harder to get away with for a lot of these retailers, because you're cutting yourself out of a large share of your market. You know, so why would you want to do that?
And there's always been this case where when we exist in prohibition, we are breaking the law, we're breaking state or federal law to have marijuana, to smoke marijuana regularly. We're going to end up working with people that are comfortable breaking the law.
Yeah.
And some of those people are comfortable breaking it because they're freedom fighters and they know the law is broken and they're going to do anything it takes to get justice. Some of those people are comfortable breaking the law because they don't give a fuck about any laws and they're reckless and they're kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I think are going to be weeded out as we have legalization come forward, because they don't want to do the business paperwork. They don't want the step-by-step legal business. They're going to go somewhere else. They're going to do something else illegal, and we're going to have a more welcoming community towards the up and up, the straight and narrow, and like people that can actually follow the law.
Yeah, that's something that I'm dealing with in my presentation today. I'm speaking at 5 o'clock in the Citrus building, and the presentation's entitled "How Not to Piss Off Your Cannabis Clientele." And I give 5 examples of companies that have gone out of their way to piss off the cannabis clientele. And I want to use this as a cautionary tale. And this is becoming more and more relevant as we have more and more of these companies. I've kind of outlined how there's 3 different types of entrepreneurs in the cannabis world right now.
Okay.
There are, I call them the heads, the suits, and the closeted. The heads are the people that have been dealing and growing and smoking forever, so they know a ton about marijuana and the culture. They know next to nothing about the business world and all the technical stuff there. You got the suits, who are people that are into making money, and they see this as the next big money thing, but they may not know so much about the marijuana culture. And then you got the closeted, which is people that are kind of half in, half out of the marijuana culture, but they hide it at work and they're not really out, so sometimes they're not quite aware. They're a little more aware than the suits are, but not quite as aware as they should be. So that's what I'm trying to outline in my presentation, is how that we share a status. It's like marijuana ain't cheeseburgers. It's not just like selling anything else, because we've all been criminals, and some of us have been patients or worshipers or stoners or activists, and so it's personal to us. It's not just a commodity that we're buying. We take it personally if you don't kick back to reform, if you use the stoner stereotypes, if you denigrate the stoner stereotypes.
Absolutely.
That turns us off, and so that's kind of what I'm presenting today.
That's awesome. That's definitely a relevant topic. There's actually celebrities that have kind of like touched on that the stoner community either welcomed them lovingly or said that they didn't do a good job and they didn't represent stoners well, or they didn't give back to the community enough. And we react as the stoner community. We want people that represent us well. We want people that are making the right decisions and that are a combination of all 3 of those types of stoners or types of people in the industry that you mentioned.
Yeah.
The suits are the ones that I have the hardest time communicating with.
Well, that's why I'm here. See, that's why I got the tie on.
The facilitator.
I'm a facilitator.
Yeah.
I'm the bridge between the heads and the suits.
The heads are sometimes like too heady for me, but I can listen to them for days.
Yeah.
And then the closets are like, I want to help you. Like, that's my people. I want to talk to them. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what you're doing on social media and I'm doing on social media and helping people out here, is that there are a lot of people who can't. They'd love to be out. And I'm not, when I say closeted, I don't say that like it's a bad thing, like you're a hypocrite or anything. Hell, you got bills to pay, you got kids, you got security clearance, a job, whatever. I was in that world. All through the 90s, I was a database consultant. I'm flying all over the country, working on Wall Street, right? You can't let people know you're ahead, especially with George H.W. Bush in office, man. It was not that time. So I understand that feeling and where people come from. And that's why once I made the choice to go all in on the cannabis world, was going to make sure that I spoke out loud and proud for all those people wearing ties out there who couldn't speak out. So that's where I think we have this kinship, as we both found ourselves in this place where we got the opportunity to speak out and have nothing to fear, nothing to lose, where a lot of people do. And so it's a lot of fun to do it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was developing my blog, and everyone's posting online, I wasn't doing anything new or different. I was just posting my daily habits. But I didn't have a husband to tell me what to do or to me even worry, like, is this going to concern his job, his issue? Yeah. As a waitress, they don't drug test. It's not an issue. My boss knew I smoked weed, and I wasn't worried there either.
Because they want to still have waitresses.
They need employees. So, and if weed is what comes up on the drug test at a restaurant, that's it, you're fine.
Yeah,
Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, my boss's boss, I wasn't concerned there. And I don't have kids. I didn't have kids then, I don't now. So it was another concern that I don't have to worry about. Where other women, other fathers in my position, they are constantly afraid that their kids are going to be taken away. They're going to cross state lines. They're going to, I don't know, constantly in fear that their kid's going to say something to the kid's friend, their parents. You just never know. And I feel like once I realized I didn't have these concerns, I did have the freedom to go and say whatever I wanted, and I'm solely responsible. I'm not risking other people. I feel like I had to keep talking and sharing. It's amazing. Look where we are. It's awesome.
I know. I took a panoramic shot from this platform up there. And
yeah, so we're under a platform.
It's just amazing. There's like 10, 15,000 people. Today it's a beautiful day, cloudless.
We need to pack this more.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Is it bowl packing
Can
time?
you grab that camera?
Oh, there we go.
And then she'll grab this.
Back.
What?
Yeah.
This is pretty professional for how it's happening.
All right, so we're gonna back up.
Whoa, there are 3 cameras.
We gotta get the full Coral Reefer.
Yeah, there's that camera, medical shorts, and then there's that. The medical shorts are by Poprageous, who I have to say is a really badass female-fronted company. I'll wait till that tractor thing is gone.
Thank you, tractor!
Poprageous is a super awesome, badass female-fronted company.
It's the heavyweight champ!
That's pretty exciting. And they are really, like, they can't be super weed friendly because they're still a mainstream business that's not selling and dealing in cannabis exclusively. But Poprageous makes really cute cannabis friendly clothes. Grabbing your lighter. And Poprageous even did like a Christmas cannabis outfit.
Oh yeah?
I love theme stuff. So I was all over. She got it, I got it. It was awesome. So what up, medical shorts, all about it.
What up, medical shorts? Also, as far as thanking sponsors, I want to thank vapes.buzz, vapes.buzz, portable vaporizers now.
Is that where you got your thing?
Give them 420 radio as a promo code, you get 10% off 420 radio.
Okay, I have one more, and it's Bovida. Bovida helps me all the time.
Yeah.
Every Stoney Sunday sponsored by them. They're on my shirt sleeve. Well, bam. So I always say hi to them.
Swat!
And then I don't know if you've ever gotten like an official goodie bag, but you're on Stoney Sunday now. You've earned one, and that always has Bovida in it.
Well, then I'll get some Bovida. That'll be cool. That'll be
awesome.
awesome. Oh, and so I had to show off one thing. So she got the medical shorts, right? So I had to have something. So check it out. Now, you ready?
What?
It's spinning!
What?
It's spinning! It's spinning!
And then there's also a lighter leash, which is
Lighter
just
leash. You got to have the
amazing.
lighter leash because, you know, you don't want to drop your lighter.
I showed up without a lighter to a cannabis cup because I'm an idiot, and I don't know.
Bianca Barnhill said I had the buckle just so women would stare at my crotch, and I said, hey, if it takes special effects, then what the hell, you know? Well, whatever it takes. I'm
worked.
old.
You got the whole camera looking. It worked.
I guess it worked.
It worked. Oh man, I'm going for the lighter again.
All right, going for the lighter.
Oh, my question that I brainstormed ahead of time for you.
Okay, because I got a question for you. You give me a question for me. All right.
Okay. In your years as an activist, what state has made the most progress in such a short amount of time that's just like blown you away? Like you didn't see it coming, and now you're like, holy shit, real contender.
Wow. Okay. Let's say, okay, for sheer like verifiable results, Florida.
Nice.
Just because they dropped 58% on a medical marijuana amendment, that's higher than the entire West Coast passed their medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Now, sure, it's 18 years later, but still, that's saying something. 58%.
And it did pass, but that's still an amazing, amazing high. I was blown away by that.
And then for a place that hasn't yet, like, you got something that you can verify, but just from an activist sense is just blowing doors, Missouri. And I know, I'm not saying that just because Missouri's watching, but...
You got a Missouri. It's a documentary, a podcast?
Yeah, we do a podcast, but we're also trying to put a doc for the whole trip together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
What I think is special about Missouri is they might be the first state to jump straight to legalization, bypass medical and go straight to legalization.
Oh my God.
I think that's going to be interesting because all the states so far that have gotten to legalization have been medical, and you have this constant struggle of how do you integrate medical with recreational, and then it gets into fighting.
And then people think they only want medical because they fully want legalization, and if we let medical happen, it's a slippery slope. And that literally has happened in a few states, but not because it's a slippery slope. I think it's because people have a better understanding of the plant once they see it more often.
Right.
And
That,
then they're like, let's do
my comment on that for all these red states that always say that, well, we don't want to have medical because then it'll lead to legalization. Well, then you're telling me two things. One, You'd rather see a cancer patient suffer than the threat of somebody smoking legally. And that seems pretty cruel to me. And two, are you telling me the only way you can keep prohibition is by keeping the knowledge of the plant secret and prohibited? Your fear is that once more people know about it, they'll vote for it to be legal? Doesn't that bankrupt your position in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely.
Think on that.
I hope there's a hit in there. I didn't mean to hand you a bad hit. Stoner Vale.
I'm from Idaho. I can scrounge a hit out of anything.
I've straight noticed that people from different areas will smoke to the last different amount.
I'll tell you, I was freaked. Like when I first moved to Oregon,
maybe one more for
about a dozen years ago.
For the last question.
I would be around people that are rolling joints or loading bowls, and they'd get some crumbs on them, and they'd brush the crumbs off, and I'm like, oh, no, don't brush the crumbs away.
You don't want to see the hotel room.
Oh, I'm sure. And now I got folks that like smoke half a bowl out of a bong, and then they dump it. And it's like, man, back in the day, I could smoke out of your ashtray. I could just smoke off your half-smoked bowls, man. It's amazing how legalization changes your perspective.
Yeah.
So I had a Stoney Sunday question for you.
Yeah.
What is the worst trouble you've ever gotten into because of marijuana?
Oh, what a good question. Because I really haven't been in that much trouble ever for marijuana. But when I was 18, I don't know if I've told this story on camera before, but when I was 18, I was smoking alone in my apartment, and a friend had just left the apartment. I smoked a bowl, and then I heard a knock at the door, and I thought it was my friend because they had just left. I opened the door, and it was 3 police officers, and my neighbor had called them because they reported smelling something funny. But I was living in Seattle. I wasn't in California. I still was raised with enough sense that I don't let police officers into my house without a warrant. Like, that's just obvious. So I opened the door, I saw those police officers, I said I'm gonna grab a jacket and excuse me for a second, so I closed the door, I grabbed my jacket, I came back and asked if I could speak to them outside. Because they had closed my door, they said that gave them probable cause to enter because they thought I was hiding stuff. I was cold, I was in Seattle, I wasn't smart enough to like run and hide anything, my first time dealing with the cops. So I literally just put on a jacket. At that point, they illegally entered my home. They searched my house because once they were inside, they saw I had pro-marijuana posters and books, and they took down my poster, and they said my poster was illegal, and I knew that's not true. That's totally not true.
Illegal poster?
Illegal Reefer Madness poster, the one with the, like red and yellow, and it says Reefer Madness.
Right.
They took that down.
The movie poster.
Yeah, that's legal.
Yeah,
so,
that's a little First Amendment problem there.
I like yelled at them. I was 18 and I remember saying like, I'm 18 and you're in my apartment where I pay rent. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. They didn't find any pot because I was a broke 18-year-old. I was working. I didn't have any like bags of pot just laying around. So I ended up just having to go to court about a bong possession, and then it got dropped. So it wasn't even a big deal. I didn't have to go to a night in jail or anything. Like, it was so mellow. It was frightening for me, but it also just reconfirmed how blessed I am to be in the position that I'm at, that I can keep fighting, because other people, their first time busted, they're in jail. Their first time busted, they're fucked. So it was scary, but also like really motivating. Like, I don't want to tolerate this. This is bullshit.
Our live crew said that we need to be more in the light, but see,
it's too late now.
I'll get all sunburned. We can't have that.
We're like pale West Coast people. You can't make us go in the sun.
Yeah. What's that? Can we spin?
It's so bright. Okay, we'll spin for like a goodbye bong hit. Is that cool?
That better light?
But now we're still in the shade. We cheated. We're still in the shade.
We're still in the shade.
Another bong hit and we'll get out of here?
All right.
We're early in the day. We have like all day to smoke more pot.
So the worst thing that ever happened to you because of pot is definitely better than the worst thing that happened to me because of pot.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
What's the worst thing that happened to you?
I was busted in Utah driving to the Denver Cannabis Cup last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you remember that story. Now, I didn't take anything with me because I'm coming from Portland and going to Denver. Why would you take anything?
Sand to the beach.
One of my people in the car brought a lot of stuff. So we got to be on the side of the road, watch the cops scroll through all our stuff, get the handcuffs, ride in the cop car, sit in jail for 6 hours, that kind of stuff. Blow $5,000 on bail.
Oh my God. And that's, you know, a little bit of a damper on a weekend of legal weed in Denver.
It was a little bit of a bummer.
But here we are, still fighting, still advocating, and staying high.
Staying high on Stoney Sunday.
That worked out really well.
Very nice.
We'll see you guys soon, and thanks so much for being on the episode.
Thank you. Coral Reefer.
Stay high, you guys.
Stay high.